on equity. Okay, that is how to estimate a return of a stock, rate of return of a stock. Okay, these are the tools that we'll have you later. And another reason is that you just have to finish the midterm exam, so we're just going to make it simple and easy. Now, the first is calculating for the return. When we try, what is the return? What is the return? What is the return? You invest $100, and then in order to get back $106, what is your return? 6% over this period of time. Okay? Very simple. How do you calculate 6%?
106 minus 100 over 100.
So that means that 106 is the total amount of money you receive back. So you're going to minus from 100. Okay? When you minus for 100 for your initial investment, so you have the surplus of 6. Okay? This is the surplus, okay, or the loss of your investment. And this investment then you're going to divide by your total investment is 100. Then it's going to be equal to 6%. Okay? Simple English. Now assuming that if I invest $100 and then after a period of time I got 97.5. So what is my rate of return?
Minus 0.25.
Now, how much did I get back? I got back 97.5. My initial investment is 100. Okay? So how much do I lose? 2.5. Negative. Okay? And then this is amount the loss based on how much that I invest. Based on $100 that I invest. Okay? So therefore that my rate of return is 2.5 minus 2.5%. Okay? Now we continue for another example. If I invest $350, in return I get 369. So what is my rate of return? First I'm going to take 369 minus 350, and then I divide for 350. Okay? And then the result I got here is 5. Okay. So this is the rate of return. It's quite simple. So how do you obtain the rate of return? Imagine that you have the stock of which stock do you like? Which company do you like? Okay, Coca-Cola. The stock price say that on today, what is the date? Today is April
4.
April 4?
Yes.
Okay. April 5th, April 6th, April 7th, and April 8th. Do we have April 9th and April 10th? you have it? Now on April 4, we have the stock price at like $37.4 per share. On April 5th, imagine that the stock price increased slightly to 38.6, and then here it's reduced to 36.1, or maybe it's going to be 36.2, or it's maybe increased to 37.9, 38.5, then 38.9. Okay? So this is the price of the stock for daily. Okay? Understand? Now, I want to calculate what is daily return. Okay? The daily return is, if I invest on this today, then what is the amount I get tomorrow? What if I invest today on 5th, and then what is the amount I get on 6th? What if I invest on 6th, and what is the amount I got on 7th? Okay? So normally here on April 4, we don't have any value before that, so it is not available. For April 5th, it's gonna be like 38.6, and then minus 1. 37.4 divided by 37.4 is equal to 2.2%. 3.2%. Okay. Now continue for the 6th. Is my return is 36.1 minus 1, 38.6. And then divide by 38.6. Then you got the value is minus 6.4%. Okay? Is this simple?
Simple.
Do the rest. This is simple, so I don't need to write down the formula for this. But in sum up, to calculate for the return, the formula is you have the entry price you have the exit price okay, so therefore that you're gonna get the assets minus 4 entry, and then divide by entry. You don't need to write down this formula, it's gonna make you confusing. just remember how to calculate this is okay. Okay? Now, that is almost finished about calculating for the return. Okay? A few questions for that before we go on for a few questions about that. There is another type of calculating for the return that many of the books will use. So it is, instead of taking this one minus this one and divide by this, you could take equal to, okay, from transform here. This is log left there of axis prime divided by entry price. This is approximately formula. Here we have log left there of entry price is 38.6 divided by 37.4. Then I get the value of, just calculate. How much? 3.15%. Okay? It is approximately to 3.2 here. There are many reasons why people prefer using the log and bear, okay? But that's going to be going to details about mathematics or finance. And in this class, I will not mention about that, okay? Mention about that will make you confusing. So just introduce to you about another way to calculating for the return, okay? Do you have any question about calculating for the return? Now, if assume that I buy a stock on April, and then I sell it on April 9, so what is my rate of return? April 4. So what is my entry price? Entry price is 37.4. My exit price is 38.5. Okay? So therefore my rate of return is 38.5 minus 4, 37.4 divided by is equal to how much? 2.9%. So what is this return mean? What is the difference between this 2.9% to this 3.2%? This one is the rate of return for you in 1 day. And this one is the rate of return for 5 days. Okay? So normally, if you make comparison between these two numbers, is it acceptable? No. Okay? They based on a different period of time. Okay? So this one is based on 5 days, and this one based on 1 day. So if you want to make a comparison, at least you have to transform them into similar. So here is for 5 days. If I want to compare, so therefore that I must divide this by 5. Okay? So here's some things about calculating for the return. Okay? No problem about that. Mean and standard deviation. What is mean? You already took statistics class, right? Okay, what is mean?
Average.
Average. What is standard deviation?
Square of variance, the distribution of the test. Distribution.
Mean is equal to?
This one is two, blah, 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 blah.
Mean is average, okay? It's simple for you. And calculating the average, you already know. Okay? Standard deviation. Denote as, okay? This is standard deviation. Standard deviation. Standard deviation in finance, they also call it volatility, volatile, okay, something fluctuation. How to calculate for the standard deviation?
It is to mean overall square touching over in the place.
So, what is the meaning of volatile? What is the meaning of volatile? English.
This word.
Volatile is simply mean that the fluctuations of that data. So the larger the volatile, the more fluctuation of your data. Okay. Now, how to calculate for the standard deviation? You don't need to know. Calculator will do it for you. You already know what that formula in statistics class. I don't want to review that formula again for you. Here, we don't learn what is standard deviation. We learn how to use standard deviation. Okay. Are you familiar with the standard deviation? Remember how to press down on the calculator? Yes, study statistics? You too? How could you allow to enter into my class? Okay. You're gonna press mode. Mode, okay. Choose number 3, start. And then choose one value. Okay? So then it will show you a column of X like this. Okay? Now, what you need to do is entering OD's rate of return for me. Okay, the third value here is how much? 0.27. This one is how much? 4.7. This one 1.6. There is another one at the end. Oh yeah, the other one at the end is 1%. So how many data points we have? 2, 6. Okay. Finish?
Yeah.
Okay. Press AC. Oops, sorry. Just erase them all. Okay, I'm just kidding. Now you press shift. Don't worry, when you entering all these and then you press AC, that means you exit the table. That means you finish entering all the data. The table is still there for you. Shift, okay, and then press 1. Because above the number 1, there is the line constant. Okay, so that means when you press shift 1, that means you activate for statistic things. Okay. Now you have a table, and in that table you're gonna choose. You choose var for me. The number is equivalent to var. Okay, some calculator it is 4, some calculator it is 5. Choose var for me. Is it okay for you?
Yes.
Now, the mean here on this is x. Try to press this and press equal. Okay? What is the value? 0.72. Okay, 72%. You can try again to calculate manually with this to check if the result is the same or not. Well, go try. You already learned that very well. You already learned statistics class. Check that if the mean here to calculate by the computer is equivalent to calculate manually. To calculate to the average, you calculate it manually. Equal? Okay, good. Now, next for standard deviation. For standard deviation, according to statistics, there are 2 types of standard deviation. The first one is standard deviation for population, and the second one is for sample. So in this, which one will you choose? Sample or population? You answer wrong, I'm going to minus you. Okay, sample. So if you choose for a sample, that's going to be, what is the denotation? Sorry. X. Okay, I'm going to choose this one. This will give you the standard deviation of this series of data. Okay, finish. Where is the result? 3 point. Okay. Now, when you're already having about mean and standard deviation, so what does the mean and standard deviation use for? So here, what does this value 0.72 mean to you? What does it mean?
It means the daily return.
Okay, don't answer me that it is the average, okay? We're gonna go detail into the formula to understand what does this number mean to you. The mean here is calculated based on the 6 rate of return. Okay, this is the rate of return for every day changing. Okay, so when you calculate for the mean here, that means that in the future, you expect that the rate of return for your stock on average should be 0.72%. Okay. It could be 3.2, but then reduced, but in average, it should be 0.72%. Okay? Is it okay for you?
Yes.
Good. Now, what about volatility? Volatility measure for the fluctuation of your data. Okay? If you go more, that would be more interesting, but too much mathematics for you. So here stands for the fluctuation of data. Now, the things that you can see is that you have this data is going to be very fluctuating. Now, I want you to distribute on your notebook. This is day. This is daily rate of return. Okay? I want you to distribute, for example, in the fifth, the rate of return is 3.2. Here is, okay, 3.2%. Then for the next day is 2, minus 6.4. Then you're going to distribute, for example, 0 is here, and it's going to be, should be somewhere here. Minus 6.4. Okay? And then I want you to continue for the rest. Okay? Finish this one for me. Don't worry, it's going to be interesting. Finish? Finish, huh? Now, this is stock A, and this is stock B. Stock A you already distribute on the table. Now I want you to do the same with the different color of stock B. You don't need to make it accuracy, okay? Just relatively to introduce to you about the volatile. Do you understand my saying? You don't need to carefully write down to exactly to centimeter, millimeter. No. Just make sure that okay, distribute them fairly, relatively. A, B. A in black, B in red, or some other colors. Finish? Now calculate the mean of the stock B for me. Now, what is the average of stock B? 0.72%. Stock A is 0.72% too. Okay? But the question here is that which stock is riskier? Which stock will you invest in? You're gonna invest in stock B, okay? You want to invest in?
The highest standard. Standard better than my
Huh?
I think the highest standard.
Well, you don't need to calculate for the standard deviation. You can look at the data and you know exactly. He's a guy focused too much on number. He forgot about the picture. Okay, what's the volatility mean? Volatility means the fluctuate. Okay, the fluctuation. Here you can see that stock A fluctuate like this with the mean of 0.72%. Stock B fluctuate like this with the same mean. So which one will you choose? How many choose A? How many choose B? Why you choose B?
I don't know.
Why you choose A? Safer? Okay.
It's here.
It's here. Now, the first thing, let me talk to you about average, the mean here. The mean here is called the expected return. Okay? The expected return here is 0.72%. It doesn't mean that you invest in stock A or stock B today, and tomorrow your return will be 0.72%. No, 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 no. Okay? 0.72 is the expected return if you invest on stock A or stock B and you holding that for a long period of time. Okay, after a long period of time, it will be give you some bonus, give you some loss, bonus, loss, bonus. Okay, in the average, you have about 0.72%. Okay, that is the meaning of the average return here. Okay, so in long term, if you invest in stock A and stock B, they both give you the average return of 0.72%. Now, but the problem is that what is about the volatility? Okay, that means that the fluctuation of the stock that it could be. Okay, for example, here you can see that when you wake up, the stock may be increased by somewhat 3.2%, and then you sleep again, and tomorrow you wake up, the price of the stock may reduce by 6.4%. Okay, or tomorrow you wake up, the price of the stock may increase slightly, only 0.27%. Okay, so this is the fluctuation. I mean, the change in the price of the stock is very small. Okay, but compared to the stock B, in which you're going to sleep one day and open your eyes, tomorrow you get 11.8%. Okay, 11.8% in one day. That's equivalent to the average return if you invest on the same stock of Vietnam for a year. Okay, just invest on one day, tomorrow you wake up, you have 11.8% in return. Then you sleep again, oh, I'm feeling so lucky, tomorrow you wake up and then you lose 18.7%. What the hell is that? Okay, and then you sleep again, tomorrow you get about 5.6%. So therefore, that the one you see here is that the volatility here is the risk that you might take. This is the two play. Okay, if you invest on this, well, you can get very high return, but you can also lose a lot of money. Okay, that makes sense here. Okay, remember the sentence I still told you: high return, high risk. Okay, so if you accept stock B, that means that you accept that, oh, I'm going to have high return. Yes, but in return you also have to get high risk. The high risk is you're going to lose it double. Okay, understand about mean and standard deviation? Any questions about that so far? Any questions about that? No? Which one should you choose? Good question. If the stock stand alone, you only have the choice to choose A or B. Then, which one will you choose?
B.
That's dependent on your decisions. But in later chapter, you're gonna learn that we're gonna combine stock A and B in order to create the things called portfolio. What does it mean to be portfolio? Portfolio is a group of many things inside. Okay? So therefore that when you invest a proportion in stock A and some certain proportion of your money in stock B, you will create some kind of the stock called stock A and B. This stock A and B, okay, give you maybe the same rate of return, but much lower risk. That means that the volatility may be somewhat in. That's gonna need something more about later. So today we're gonna review those about statistics. Okay. Any questions so far? I mean, if you like gamble, okay, you like lottery, you like Watcher or example something like that, just go for it. Okay. But if you like something to be safe, okay, you care about your life, okay, just want to be safe, go for it. Okay. Any questions? No? So you're going to have the break of 15 minutes and then 15 minutes only, okay? So we're going to go back and give you some review about these functions. Now, if stock A gives you about 5.32% rate of return, okay, and stock B gives you about 7.40% rate of return, okay. Now, imagine that the price of stock A is okay. Imagine this is the price of stock A, this is the price of stock B. You have $100. And you decide to invest 40% of your investment on stock A and 60% on stock B. Okay? That means 40% on A, 40% of 100 is equal to 40. 60% of 100 is 60. Okay? And so therefore the group 60, how many stock A do you have? How many stock B do you have? Two. Okay? Now, leave this here alone. Okay? Leave this here alone. Now, if you have one stock A, And then the rate of return is 3.32. So that means that if you invest on stock A, your cost will be, you have to pay how much? Pay for $20 to have the stock A. Okay? And then you get the return of 3.52%. 3 to 52% of how many dollars? Of 20. Okay? You multiply this for 20, and then you get how much?
1.064.
1.0. Okay? And then, okay. If you have two stock A, your total investment is how much? 60. 40. Okay. So here is that means that this stock A from 50, it will grow up into 51.0.64. Is it okay for you? This one explainable, right? So that means that if you buy two stock A today, the cost will be 40. And then tomorrow they will grow up into how much? Each stock will grow up into 51.064. And so two stock, when you sell it, you have the amount of money is equal to something wrong here, right? No, it's 20, sorry, make mistake. 20, and it is 21.064. Okay, sorry. Is it understandable? Okay. So that means that if I invest on two stock A, so that means that the primary stock A will tomorrow be 21.064 multiplied by 2. So I'm selling two of them, so I get the amount of money of 128. Okay. So what is my rate of return here? 42.128 minus 40 divided by is equal to okay. Is it okay for you? So this means that this is very basic in mathematics. Okay, but in case that some of you don't understand, so explain this so detailed. So it's simply that regardless of your money, okay, regardless of amount of money you invest on stock A, you always get the return of 3.32%. Okay, you have $20, you buy one stock A, your profit only 1.064, but your return is 5.32%. You have 2 million, and then you invest on stock A. Okay, you're gonna have 2 million. This is gonna be how much? Oh, 2 million. How many zero? 6. 5. You're gonna have a 1064.00. Okay, that means if you invest 1 million, 2 million on stock A, you're gonna get the return of $106,000. But the return is still the same, 5.32%. Okay? So therefore the thing is that regardless the amount you invest in a stock, okay, it still gives you the same rate of return. Okay, understand this point so far? Are you sure you understand this? If not, I'll explain again. Understandable? Okay. Now, if the point is that let me say. So here, I invest 40% of my money on stock A. That means I buy how many shares? 2 shares. 2 shares, okay? So here I write down a little bit more details. The return, how much? I mean the return in value, not rate of return, rate of return. Rate of return is always 5.32%. Is it okay? Now the return, how much do I have here? 2.128. And for this one, how much do you have? Calculate quick for me. Can you do it for stock B? The price of stock B is 30, the rate of return is 7.4. Okay, so that means if you invest today, the price of stock B tomorrow will be how much? So you take 30 multiplied by 1.0. Price tomorrow minus for 30 divided by 30 is equal to how much? 0.044. Okay? P divided by 30 minus for 1 equal to 0.074. P equal to 1.074 divided by 30. So therefore P is equal to very difficult. Wow. Don't write that formula. Okay, financial class, you don't need to understand all the formula. Okay, just understand the way to calculate. It's much faster than remember all those formula that you don't understand about. It's okay. What is the price? How much? 22. Okay, so that means that I get additional of how much? 2.22 for one share. So for 2, I'm going to multiply by 2. So I'm going to get 4.44. Good. The rate of return is still good. Okay. Now I have 100. So I invest 40% of this and 60% of B. Now this is the amount of additional money I get. Okay. How much in total? Equal to 6.568. Okay. Now, this is the extra return, extra money I get. Okay. That means if I invest on this portfolio, I buy it today, it will cost me $100. And tomorrow, this portfolio, this is the portfolio. Okay. This is the portfolio because you have certain amount of stock A and certain amount of stock B. Okay. Your portfolio could be more. That means A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't care about that. Okay. So that's the portfolio. And in Vietnam, portfolio just imagine it's just a top up. Okay. Many things you put inside there. Now, so that means that the price of the two stock A, that is I holding. The price here is going to be how much? How much? Stock A is going to raise into 42.128. Okay? Stock B going to raise into 64.44. Good. Okay? So therefore that my portfolio new value going to be equal to 42.128 plus 64.44. So therefore I have the amount of 106.568. 6.568. Okay? So that means that 6.568 is the extra money I have here. Right? Is it okay? Okay. So what is my rate of return? I'm going to take this value and then I divide by how much? 100. And then I get the return of 6.568%. Okay, this is the return of my portfolio. Now, you're going to get 40%, you're going to multiply by 5.32%, okay? Then you're going to plus for 60%, multiply by 7. What is the result? Just press the calculator.
Yes, I did it.
Okay. It is exactly this number. Okay. So now the thing here is that if you have your money, can you erase all of this? Is it okay? If I have money, I invest some percentage proportion on stock A. I invest some proportion on stock B and some proportion on stock C. Okay? For example, here I have the proportion. For stock A, I invest 20%. For stock B, I invest 40%. And for stock C, I invest about 40%. Okay? And the return of stock A is say like 5%. The return of stock B is 6%. And return of stock C is 7%. So therefore that I don't need to know how much money do I have. Okay? But I still know that my rate of return when I distribute my money here is always equal to how much? 20 multiplied by 5, that means you're going to have 1%. 0.4 multiplied by 6, that means you're going to have about 2.4%. And 0.47, you're going to have 2.8%. Okay, so that means in total I will have 6.2%. Okay, 6.2% is the return of my portfolio. Okay, if I have $100 and I invest on this portfolio, distribute 20%, $20 for A, $40 for B, $40 for C. So that means that I'm going to get about return of $6.2. Okay, if I have more money, I have 100,000, and then I get how much? $6,200 in return. But my rate of return is still the same, 6.2%. Okay. Everything's alright? Any questions about this so far? No, right? Okay. Now the next thing about standard deviation is a little bit technical. Okay? Or maybe I should leave it for the other times. It's 10, it's over the time. Standard deviation. Okay, I will owe you this later. Okay, I will explain that more because the formulation is just a little bit tricky. It's not very simple. Okay, so we're going to explain whether times comes. Times not come yet, so we don't go there. Now we finish the first, second, third. Now we go for the regression. What is regression? Estimate what? Estimate how many percent you answer wrong. Forecast how many percent you answer wrong. Linear regression. Okay. In the regression, there are variable, which is called x and y. They are both called variable. Okay? Now, y is called dependent variable. X is called independent. So x here, I have the x, that means I can have many independent variables, but only have one dependent variable. So on the most basic form for your fundamental finance, your equation is going to follow it like this. Y is equal going to be A plus Bx. Okay? Is it okay? Now assume that if I have the equation x equals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X equals 0, y is equal to 2, 1, 5. This is going to be 8, 11, 14, and this one is 17. Okay? Very simple. You have the equation, you put this, very simple. The problem is, this one. I only know x value and I only know y value. How do I find out the equation?
Use x.
Your x are good. You can use your calculator as well. Why is it matter here? Because the things you're going to learn later is about beta. What does this mean to be beta? You know about VN index, right? VN index, have you ever heard about it? Yeah, already. VN index, standard for okay. VN index to make you simple. If a company has a beta of 1.5, so what does this mean? This means that if the return of VN index is 5%, so this company will have the return of 7.5%. If the company have the VN index have the beta of 1, so if the VN index have the return of 5, it will have 5. If the company has the return of 0.4, if the VN index is 5, so that company going to have 2. Okay? So here's the thing. Later you will learn that. Now, this is the return of the company. Return of company. This is going to be the return of VN index. Okay? You don't have the equation yet. And the beta is this one. Okay? So what do you have? When you look into the market, you're going to have about the return of your stock, which is Y. You're going to have the return of VN index, which is X. You have a serial value from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 2, here. And then you're going to find this equation. After you find out this equation, you're going to have this value is the beta of this. Okay? Do you understand why? Now I go back again to make it very simple for you. Y equal to plus 3x. If x increased by 1, so y increased by
3.
Y increased by 3, regardless the position of x. Okay? So that's why you got a very low score, 32. Just kidding. Now, regardless the position. So therefore that if here you have this, if this is the return of your company, y is the return of your company, and x the return of VN index. Okay? So therefore that if the index increased by 1, your return of company will increase by 3. Is it okay? 3 times. That means your return of company will increase by 3 times. Okay, so that makes sense now. Yeah. X increased by 1, y increased by 3. Okay? Forget about this. X increased by 1, y increased by 3. Is okay? X equals 0 and y equal 2. X increased by 1, x go to 1, y go to 5. Okay? X go to 2, y go to 8. Is it okay? Now, so therefore that, back to this, if y stands for the return of your company, and x stands for the return of VN index, okay? And if you can find out this equation is 2 plus 3x. So that means that if VN index increased by 1, then the return of your company increased by 3. Okay, get the point. So therefore, back to that, the beta here is maybe somewhat, the value here is somewhat nearly 0, and here's maybe 1.7, for example. Okay, so that means that if the VN index increased by 1, your stock return is going to be increased by 1.7. Understand? Okay. We're not going to go more detail about financial theory today, so we're going to learn about regression, how to find out that. Back again, I'm going to give you the serious value here. X equal by 3, y is equal to 11, 4, 15, 5, no, 14, 17. How to find out the equation y is equal to plus 3x. Okay, sorry. A plus bx. Now,
7.
shut the number. No, you're not going to shut for the number. You're going to open the calculator. Press mode 3. And then, do you see A plus bx? Press number 2. Okay, so it has a column for x and a column for y. Okay, now I want you to enter all the value of x from 0 to 5 and all the value equivalent for y from 2 to so what? How much? Finish? Finish entering the data?
Yes.
Okay, press AC. It's gonna erase your data. Now press shift 1. Shift 1, okay. You're gonna see number 5, rec. That stands for regression, okay. Press 5. And you have A or B. See that? Okay. Press A, press 1, choose 1 for A. Press equal 2. Do again for B. That's gonna be 3, exactly. Okay? So that is how you're gonna use your calculator to find out about the regression here. Okay? The things here is that we are interested in for your level. This is not statistical class, so therefore you just only get this equation and it is alright. Okay? In normal, the data is not never gonna fit like this. Okay? That means that all your data doesn't stand on the straight line. So what is your data look like? The data gonna be okay, and this method, regression here, we find out the best fit line. Okay, the line that fit most here. It could be any line, it could be this line, or it could be this line, but which line, 1, 2, or 3, which one is the most fit?
3.
Number 3, okay? So that is based on some mathematical formula, okay? In order to find out, you need to know about that. Okay? Any questions so far? No? No? Sure? Let's do some small practice. Before we finishing this. Good. For our Korean friend, this is the price, the closing price, okay? Now, I want you to calculate for me on 11 days. Export to Excel. Okay? Can you see it? For 11 days. Okay? 11 days. So that's me. Now, what is the first thing you have to do? The first thing you have to do is to record the price. I want to say one last question for your assignment. That is, now, this is the price. Okay? They are the other price, but I will explain to you later. Okay? Don't need about. Now you only care about the closing price. Okay? Here you have the BN index price. Okay? Then you record that for 11 days. First 11 days. Okay? First 11 days. Then you calculate the VN index return. Okay? VN index return. Okay? Do? Daily. Daily return. up. Finish up. Cho đúng không? Is it okay? Is it okay? So are the two values the same? Your calculation and this column, is it the same? Is it match? Is this column match your calculation and the return? Okay, good. Now, this is for the main index, okay? Now, this is for Vietnamese. So now you can recall about the change in the price for the first of that. Zero percent is minus 1.5. 1.5 minus 0.7, 0.7 minus 0.7, 0.7, 0.8. Who like to trade? How many of students here interested in trading? Not about those boring stock. Trading on something more interesting. Currency. Don't worry, it is a demo account, so you can free trade anything you like.
Em cũng muốn lắm mà không biết gì hết.
How much? How many of you want? Now ask serious question. How many of you want? So in the next lecture, after the lecture time, I will show you somehow for you to play at home. It's the demo account. Don't worry about it. It's not the real money, but the price is real. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, don't worry. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna have about gold, silver, oil. You have the currency. Which one do you like? US dollar, oil. Don't worry, it's gonna be fun. The class gonna be messing up. Next time bring the laptop, please. I'm gonna need my laptop. I'm gonna give you bonus. Is it okay? You record them all. Now calculate for me the beta of Vinamilk. So X is VN index or Vinamilk? X is VN index, okay, and Y is Vinamilk. Tính xong chưa?
Không, cái bên kia kìa, còn lại cậu chép record cái kia lại chưa? Đây để tôi bấm ra.
Không có ghi lại. Nhập đi bấm vào đó.
Ủa nhập đến thứ 7 này.
Look at the date. 24, 25. Oh la la, that's why many of you don't calculate wrong.
Ủa thầy nhập đến cái thứ 7 à?
Take a look. 22, then let's go to 23. So you have to do, you take this one, you minus for this one, and you divide for this one. Okay? It's not that some of you following my table, you're gonna take this one, you minus for this one, and then you divide for this one. That's why I see something strange in your face, silently. How many of you calculate wrong?
Em chỉ cần
Okay, don't worry, next time if there is something that you calculate wrong, tell me, okay? These are the information that you need to know about, okay? To read how to read the table information.
minus 0.41.
Minus 41.
That's bad.
How much?
Những cái nốt
Một cái mặt xanh mặt đỏ.
Cái này nãy nhập đâu?
nhập ở bên kia kìa, đây cũng nhập đến cái thứ bảy đó, nhập đến cái thứ bảy này bên kia bên kia
Cái thứ 10 đi.
cái thứ 10 luôn nè, bên kia có 7 tháng rồi,
Ghi được cái 10 cái.
em có 10 tháng, bên 7 tháng có 7 tháng.
How much?
Không nãy là cái giá của VN-Index đúng không?
Ừ.
Đây là giá của VN-Index.
Về index, còn Y là cái đó rồi, cái 0% minus 1,5%.
0% có hai cái mà.
Ừ.
0% có hai cái.
Thì nhập hết vô,
Nhập có 4 cái rồi.
mấy?
Nhập có 4 cái.
Gì tôi nhập luôn 4 cái đúng rồi. À tôi hiểu rồi, mấy số dưới nó làm tròn rồi, mấy số dưới nó làm tròn. Ừ, con nhỏ quá vậy, con nhỏ đến vậy. Cái này nó làm tròn, nó làm tròn cái gì? Chơi tiếp. Cái này rồi. 187, đúng rồi, đúng rồi. 187. Lại cái này rồi xong.
Okay, don't worry, it's okay, it's just a practice thing. You wanna check it on the, see if you press the calculator right. Okay. So the class is finished today. Finish. You can go home.
Tiếp vô không?
Tell the assignment at home, so check